It was December 5th, 1872, when the British brigantine DEI Gracia spotted a ship adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. It was the Mary Celeste, eerily drifting without a soul aboard. The crew of the DEI Gracia boarded the vessel, only to find it completely abandoned. The ship was in perfect condition, its cargo intact, provisions for 6 months, personal belongings undisturbed, yet the crew had vanished without a trace. The lifeboat was missing, but there was no signs of a struggle. This haunting discovery marked the beginning of one of the most enduring mysteries of the sea. The Mary Celeste is more than just a ghost ship. It's a maritime enigma that has baffled historians, sailors, and mystery enthusiasts for over a century. Found floating aimlessly in the Atlantic, the ship's tale is a strange and haunting one, with no clear explanation for the fate of its crew. How could a vessel be found in such pristine condition, yet completely devoid of life? This is the mystery we're about to unravel. The cold wind howled across the deck of the Mary Celeste as it sailed through the churning waters of the Atlantic. Captain Benjamin Briggs stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the horizon. He had a bad feeling, an inexplicable unease that gnawed at his gut. The ship was on a routine voyage from New York to Genoa, Italy, but something felt off. The air was thick with tension, and even the crew seemed more somber than usual. On the evening of November 24th, 1872, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the Mary Celeste was swallowed by darkness. A dense fog rolled in, wrapping the ship in a shroud of mystery. Below deck, the cargo of 1,700 barrels of denatured alcohol creaked ominously, as if the very ship itself was groaning under some unseen pressure. Captain Briggs couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, though he knew it was impossible. That night a storm raged through the Atlantic. The Mary Celeste was tossed about like a toy in the hands of an angry child. Lightning cracked across the sky, illuminating the terrified faces of the crew. But it wasn't the storm that terrified them the most. It was the ship itself. Strange noises echoed through the corridors, whispers that seemed to come from the very walls. The crew whispered among themselves, their fear mounting with each passing hour. Some swore they saw shadowy figures moving through the mist, ghostly apparitions that disappeared as quickly as they appeared. As the storm reached its peak, Captain Briggs made a fateful decision. The Mary Celeste's pumps were failing, and water was seeping into the hold. Coupled with the volatile cargo, the situation seemed dire. He ordered the crew to prepare the lifeboat. His wife Sarah clutched their young daughter, Sophia, close, her face pale with fear. But just as they were about to lower the lifeboat into the raging sea, a deafening silence fell over the ship. The storm had stopped as suddenly as it had begun. The air was still, too still. The crew hesitated, looking to Captain Briggs for guidance, but before he could give the order to abandon ship, a blood-curdling scream echoed from below deck. The sound was inhuman, a chilling wail that sent shivers down their spines. The crew froze, terror etched on their faces. Captain Briggs, heart pounding in his chest, grabbed a lantern and descended into the darkness. The hold was eerily quiet. The barrels of alcohol stood untouched, but something was wrong, terribly wrong. The temperature had dropped, and a thick mist swirled around his feet. The lantern flickered as he approached the source of the scream. And then he saw it, a figure, barely visible in the dim light, standing at the far end of the hold. It was a man, or at least it had once been. His clothes were tattered, his skin a sickly grey, but it was his eyes that made Captain Briggs's blood run cold. Empty, soulless eyes that bore into him with a malevolence that defied explanation. "Who are you?" Briggs demanded, though his voice trembled. The figure didn't respond. It simply raised a bony finger and pointed behind Briggs. The captain turned slowly, his heart hammering in his chest. There, emerging from the shadows, were more figures, pale, ghostly shapes that filled the hold, their eyes fixed on him with a hunger that made his skin crawl. Briggs stumbled back, the lantern slipping from his grasp and shattering on the floor. The flames licked at the mist, but the figures didn't retreat. They moved closer, silent and menacing. In a panic, Briggs bolted up the stairs, his mind racing. He had to get the crew off the ship, had to get them to safety. But as he burst onto the deck, he found it empty. The lifeboat was gone, the ropes swinging gently in the breeze. The crew, his wife, his daughter, they were all gone. The fog thickened, swallowing the ship whole. Briggs ran to the edge of the deck, peering into the murky darkness, but there was nothing. No sign of the lifeboat, no sign of life. He was alone, or so he thought. As he turned back toward the helm, he saw them, dozens of ghostly figures, standing in silent vigil, their hollow eyes watching him with a cold detachment. The captain's breath caught in his throat. He backed away, his mind reeling. The ship wasn't just haunted, it was cursed. Suddenly, a gust of wind whipped through the rigging, and the Mary Celeste lurched forward, propelled by an unseen force. The fog parted just enough for Briggs to see a massive wave towering above the ship, a wall of water that blotted out the sky. There was no time to react, no time to pray. The wave crashed down with a thunderous roar, and the world went black. When the Mary Celeste was found adrift days later, it was as if time had stopped. The ship was in perfect condition, the cargo untouched, but there wasn't a soul aboard. The lifeboat was gone, and so were the crew, Captain Briggs, his wife, and their daughter. The ship sailed on, a ghostly reminder of the horrors that had taken place, its secrets lost at the depths of the ocean. To this day, the mystery of the Mary Celeste remains unsolved. Some say the crew was taken by the sea, others believe they were claimed by the spirits that haunted the ship. But those who dare to speak of it whisper of a darker truth, a curse that doomed the Mary Celeste to sail the seas for eternity, a ghost ship forever searching for the souls it lost. The legend of the Mary Celeste lives on, a chilling tale of mystery, terror, and the unknown. And as the ship continues to drift through the mists of time, it serves as a haunting reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved.